Well, hello, race fans. Welcome to a new edition of the USF Pro Insider. My name is Rob Howden. It is episode 94, Tuesday, January the 13th. Now officially 5 weeks away from the first race of the year. It will be USF Juniors with a triple header as part of spring training and content days at Homestead Miami Speedway in the middle of February. Excited to get back to the track like I know most drivers are. Testing is one thing, but they all want to get back to wheel to wheel. An international show tonight for this edition of the Insider Podcast. So we have Brad Majman for Pabst Racing from Australia. Actually, still back in Australia. I think it's around 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning in Australia. Brad joining us, and as well, although he's here now in Indianapolis from Finland, Vilho Aatola for D-Force Racing. Both these young guns coming back for a second season in their respective championships. Majman in USF 2000. And Aatola last year making his debut in the USF Pro Championships in USF Juniors. Both these drivers will be championship contenders for sure. Do want to welcome everybody here on a Tuesday evening. As we know, always an interactive show. If you have any questions for the drivers, feel free to put them up in the comments, and I'll see what I can to potentially bring them into the show. Afterwards, we'll turn this live show here on Facebook and YouTube into an audio podcast that will be available on Podbean. And as always, on the USF Pro Championship app as well. Go to the homepage, scroll to the bottom. They're all right there. One thing I've been doing since I started things back up with the podcast here in late 2025, every show I'm coming out with the new drivers who have announced since the last podcast. 4 drivers have announced, and you know there's going to be a flurry over the next 5 weeks as we lock down all the grids for USF Juniors 2000 and Pro 2000. Leonardo Saravalli announced for Zanella Racing. They're going to have a big camp in USF Juniors this year. Saravalli out of Thorold, Ontario, Canada, right near Niagara Falls. Excuse me. 2 times a Canadian karting champion this year. One of the national championships, one of the Canadian Open as well. A very talented kart racer who is focusing now 100% on his karting program. So add another very fast driver to the Zanella Racing camp. Ryan Janetta, the Californian for VRD Racing, coming back for his second year in the USF 2000 program. Had some better runs late in the season last year. Bad luck was all around this kid all year long, but kind of started getting it at the end and really was getting some speed. I expect he's going to be a top 10, top 5 driver, maybe even run for race wins here in 2026. And last but not least, a couple of brothers announced for Exclusive Autosport. Gabriel and Ayrton Khan will run in the USF 2000 category. They come in with fantastic resumes, finishing first and second last year in the F1600 championship. It was Ayrton that came away with the championship. Gabe was in second. Gabriel, though, won the F2000 championship and FRP competition the year before. So these guys know how to get it done. You know how big of a fan I am of F1600 racing and the ability to go wheel to wheel. So expect big things from the Khan brothers running for Exclusive Autosport. They're going to have a very strong USF 2000 team as they look to try to back up that championship won in 2025 by Jack Jeffers. So there you go. There's the driver announcements. I know we're going to have a bunch more coming before I get back to the next show next week. Haven't locked those drivers down for the interviews yet. As you can probably guess, I'm going through the drivers who have already announced. And I'm also going through guys that are coming back, rookie drivers. I'll do a Meet the Rookies podcast or a number of those when we get the season started. But right now, really focusing on the drivers who are coming back for their second, third, or fourth years in the USF Pro Championships. 2 drivers on the way back. Let's bring them in here right now. Vilho Aatola and Brad Majman. Guys, thank you very much. Vilo's at the D4 shop in Indianapolis. Brad's back in Australia right now. Guys, thanks for taking the time out to be with me today.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for inviting me. It's nice to be here.
So one of the things that Vilho and I struggled with last year was the fact I talk a mile a minute, as we know, and he's been working on his English. I don't know any Finnish. So I will do my best, Vilho, to keep it in first gear and to make sure that you're able to understand. And I will work hard on that for sure. What I want to do, and I said this to the guys in the studio, I haven't had a chance to have either of these drivers on a podcast throughout 2025. So yeah, you probably know them from the racetrack. You've watched what they've been able to do on track. Both these drivers have made it to the podium in competition this past year. They've had interviews. We've had them on, segments of the USF Pro broadcast, but we've never had a one-on-one. So, Brad Majman, let's start with you. You're from Australia. You're running for Pabst Racing this year. Let's do the origin story. How did you get into the sport, and how did you find yourself in the USF Pro Championships?
Well, my dad used to do it. Just at the local kart track, like half an hour down the road. Just a bit of fun. And in the next 30, when I was like 2, 3, I used to go with him. Tried in a little Bambino kart when I was about 5.5 or so. Yeah, I kind of took off there. I went to Vegas end of 2019. Won that. That was big.
Yes.
Then yeah, more karting. Went over to Europe for a year and a bit. Came back and then yeah, launched into America for the start of my car career.
The SCUSA Super Nationals win, I believe, was it in the micro or mini Swift category?
Nah, micro.
It was micro. And that's such. I've called all those races over the last 28 years. A very tough class to win, and for you to come over to win that was fantastic. When you went to Europe in karting, what category were you with, and were you with a manufacturer? I don't recall off the top of my head.
I was with driving OKJ. I was with Shamrock Racing. So they were like a satellite to Parallon.
Okay, excellent stuff. So you make the move. You've done your karting career. How did it all come about? You came over. You did the F4 series first, correct?
Yeah. I think it's called the JFC now.
JFC.
But,
yep.
Yeah.
So from there, you come into USF 2000. The jump up from JFC to USF 2000. Give me your overall thoughts on that. We'll circle back around on 25. But were you happy making the jump into what was obviously a very more technical race car, more modern race car?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, if I want to go to IndyCar, I need to be on the road to Indy, right? So that was it was really good fun. It was a whirlwind of a year. Learned a lot. Definitely learned a lot. A lot of ups, more downs than ups, but it was good fun through it all.
That happens.
Yeah, no, it was good fun. Really enjoying it. The race mates are great. They're always good fun. Being around the Indy cars, that you get to just naturally you learn a lot about them. And yeah, just driving the tracks that I'm going to be driving on for the next hopefully 10, 15 years.
That's the key, isn't it? Vilho, let's come to you. Tell me about your racing career, how you got started racing. Was it a family thing? What got you into karting when you were young?
Well, my family hasn't, no one has raced before me, so it's kind of new thing for us. But we've been following racing, my family always. And then we went to rental car places and tested karting, and it was fun. And then one of my dad's friends said that you need to get this kid a go-kart, and we bought and we started doing local series in South Finland.
Okay.
And I was doing okay, nothing special. And then we every year we went from local series to whole Finland and Nordic Europe, and then the whole Europe, little bit bigger every year. And my karting career went good, and we got chance to come overseas here and got the chance to test Formula car for first time here in the US. It was really nice, and did the season in juniors now, did last season, and now let's do it again.
Yeah, we'll circle back and obviously talk about 2025 and your first time here in the U.S. Brad's obviously came over with the JFC and had been there earlier in 2019 for the SCUSA Super Nationals karting event. But very similar, Vilho, to the story we've heard from a lot of people, right? You start club racing, maybe even indoor karting. You work your way up through the regional, national, as you said, eventually international throughout Europe running karting. Brad did the same thing. Let's just back up a second. So Brad, it's been 4 months or over 4 months since we capped off the season.
Yeah.
Did you go straight home to Australia? Did you stay here and do some testing before, or have you not been in the car since then?
No, had a couple tests. So yeah, was there probably for another month after Portland.
Okay.
Just figuring out teams and that whole situation, and testing. Then came back for the combine, and yeah, I've been home pretty since the combine. Yeah.
We had Jacob Douglas on last week, and he talked about the fact that he's keeping himself sharp at the go-kart track that he used to race that when he was a kid running KZ. It's summer down in Australia right now. Are you doing any karting at all, or are you just on the sim all the time?
No, no karting. No karting. A lot of sim. It's difficult to get a card and everything. I think there's more value in being on the sim
and in the gym. Good man. Yeah. Vilho, have you been home since the end of the season? You have not been back here. This is the first time you've come back all winter, correct?
No. Okay. I went home immediately after Portland, and then came back months after Portland to do some testing. But after that, I've been home working out and on the sim. And a lot of school too.
That's it, right? There is school for you guys still. I forgot about that. You're young. All right, guys, let's talk about 2025. Then we'll move over to 2026. Brad, solid season overall. I say you finished 11th, I think, overall in the points, but that's not a really realistic look because you missed 2 weekends and 5 races, Road America and Mid-Ohio. But a strong run at the Oval, on the podium at the Freedom 75 at IRP. You mentioned already some ups and downs. If you were to characterize the season for you, was it just all about learning the team and learning the race car?
Yeah, it was difficult. Started pretty. I came 5th, I think, the second race at St. Pete. Yep. So we were positive. Then went to NOLA. Started on the front row in one of the races there. So I don't think it was all bad. There's just a lot of ups and downs. Then you miss, and then you finally feel like you're getting somewhere. As you said, a podium at the Oval. That was probably my best drive all year.
Okay.
And then you end up sitting at home for another 3 months. You lose all your momentum, and then you get told 2 days before the race that you're racing. You jump back on a plane halfway across the world. So it was, the back end of the season was interesting. I definitely feel like we were getting somewhere early, but it is what it is.
I have to feel, this is tough to hear because it's just for a young driver, that consistency of being on track, to lose that in the middle of the season. This must just feel like pressing the reset button for you. You go from the team you're with last year over to Pabst Racing for 2026, a fantastic team, as we know. They've won multiple championships. Does it feel like that? Is this hey, you know what? Put last year behind me, press the reset button. I'm almost restarting after not getting a full season last year.
Yeah. Listen, I definitely take the learnings from last year. There are a lot of them. So definitely take them. It's a new year. It's the same for, I think, everybody's resetting. So new year, start from zero, start fresh with Pabst, which I'm really looking forward to. And see how that goes.
How much testing have you done with Pabst so far?
There were a couple days at Road America. Then there was the combine, and then we then we had a couple days at Carolina.
Brad, I often talk about how teams are different, right? Culture's top down. Every team has kind of a different culture, the way they run things. Yeah. How have you slotted into Pabst? Augie wants to win. All team owners want to win. Augie's a pretty hardcore guy wanting to win. The team he's put around him. What's your thoughts on your first number of days with Pabst?
I love it. We're here to win. That's obvious. You're here to win. Everybody's everyone's putting in all their effort. Like my mechanic, he used to mechanic and like on the cars back in the day. So yeah, it's a very experienced team. Everybody's there to win. Everybody knows what they need to do, and yeah, I'm loving the environment.
That's fantastic. Vilho, let's talk about your first year in USF Juniors. For the first time coming across from Finland. I know when I first met you at NOLA during spring training, you were very new. You were picking up the language. I have to feel it got a bit easier throughout the year. You finished, what, 7th overall? In your move into cars from karts, were you happy with your performance? Because you became one of the drivers we were watching every weekend.
I think my rookie season was very good, like compared to the experience that I had and the other drivers had. Like I did pretty minimum testing, like no in-season testing and straight from kart. So it was like I had to like adapt fast to change my driving style to Formula cars, and but it went pretty good. We got a couple of podiums, and yeah, I'm happy.
How much different do you feel now going into the new season than you did in February of last year when you were brand new? I have to feel that you're much more comfortable, at least confident for sure, but much more comfortable this year now going into 2026.
I think so much more like confidence when I have driven full season in the car, and now I have the same thing again. I know the most of the tracks, and you know, last year I didn't know if we're gonna do the whole season or not, and now everything's like we're gonna do it. I have done it, so it's easier to do it again.
Indeed. Once you get that first run through, both you guys are coming back in the same cars. Brad, how good is that for you? Last year, of course, you jumped from the JFC F4 car, the Ligier, into the Tatis, the the USF 22. That was a jump learning the car. Now you've already got that done. Yeah. I have to believe that the testing is a little different. It's not about trying to find big bits. It's like really fine tuning and understanding the car. Am I on that?
Yeah, exactly. And that is one of the benefits of doing a second year is you can focus on the more finite details so that we are more prepared, so that we can use those practice sessions, the 2 practice sessions that we usually get at most meets
right
effectively, rather than trying to say work on driving. We're working on we've already done that in the testing, so that's the beauty of it.
Brad, is there a race you look back? I know you missed a couple, but is there a race you look back at last year and you say maybe that was my best overall performance?
Overall, I thought my Toronto weekend, all considering, was pretty good. Certainly the second qualifying in the second race I thought was pretty good. The oval, I thought my pace was arguably the strongest one of all weekend. I just didn't execute in qualifying, so that hurt me. So there's a couple there, but I don't think I had a really complete performance where I was like, say, start third, settle in, move forward. You know, there wasn't much of that this year. It comes with the learning. I need to improve on my qualifying a lot for next year, because a lot of the time I was starting 10th, 11th and driving through to like 5th. So
we know what 10th is like row 5 at the start of these races, right in the middle of chaos, right?
It was hectic, especially at Portland.
Especially at Portland, no doubt. Listen, next segment, we go 2026. So we'll talk about that. Hold on to that thought. Vilho, let's come back to you. Is there one weekend in USF Juniors last year, one of the races where you felt you performed your best?
I think the Barber weekend was really strong. I was like top 5 in every session and got P2 in qualifying and first podium in Formula car. And then the whole Barber track is so nice, and with IndyCar there, so many fans around the place that it was super nice feeling to get my first podium there.
Sadly, we won't be going back to Barber with juniors this year, or any of our series this year, but we do have some big races. Lime Rock with NASCAR, big weekend up at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park for juniors. We'll come back to that. Brad, one of the things about coming back for another year, let's talk 2026 right now as well, is the fact that normally USF 2000 doesn't change that much. Not a lot of races change. Only one adjustment this year. You're still going back to St. Petersburg. Not the same Toronto, first and foremost. Now, no NOLA either. We're going to finish at Road America, which is great for you guys at Pabst. But you mentioned how good you were. You had a really good run in race 2 at St. Pete. Had a really good overall Toronto. We don't go back to that venue. We go to Markham now. But that's 2 street circuits. You've got experience on the one in St. Pete, and you've really been strong on the street circuits. Do you look at those 2 races on the schedule and say, hey, you know what? This is a really good opportunity for me to come away with some big points?
Not necessarily. I think you go into every race the same. I think, one of the benefits of the straight tracks is everybody is there, and the oval for that matter, is everybody's relatively not got much experience, especially, Markham, everyone's going to be starting from scratch.
Brand new.
So I think it does play to my strengths, but at the same time, I don't go into, for example, I don't go to Mid-Ohio thinking, I'm going to salvage my weekend here, from the get-go.
Okay, I get that. I can see on the negative side, you don't want to have a negative mindset, but I've always thought that maybe if you have a track you really like, you're ready to attack a bit more. But I understand it's if you keep a level playing field, right? Level head, maybe the best way to go.
I've only been there once, so who knows? Maybe I'll go to St. Pete this year, and who knows what happens. So
you could be a rock star. You could be a rock star.
Yeah, who knows?
Vilho, for you for 2026, sadly, a bunch of the tracks you raced on last year we're not going back to. So, but like everybody in the entire field, it's brand new. Homestead to start the season. I don't know how much track time you have there. We go to Kershaw. I know when we talk about testing, you guys are going to Kershaw, I think this weekend potentially. Up to Canada, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, Lime Rock as well. Have you been using iRacing a lot to learn these tracks? I have the feeling you guys would be on the sim a lot, trying to learn new tracks on the simulator.
Yeah, I've been lots of time in the sim to prep for next season. It's good way to practice. Like no one has been to the tracks, I think. So it makes the whole next season more interesting when teams and drivers have to figure out the setups and drivings more than if we go to the same tracks. Then everyone knows a little bit what they're doing, but now it's more new.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the level playing field, people that haven't been to the track, maybe north of the border to the track in Canada, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. You've done the sim. You've tried some of these tracks on the sim. You're going to go do Kershaw. I'm sure you've been to Homestead already. Is there one of those racetracks, Vilho, that you really want to get to? Are you excited about one of those tracks?
The Mosport in Canada, like my first time in Canada is gonna be when the races. So it's really nice track on the sim. Lots of elevation changes and fast tracks. So I'm really waiting for it.
One of your coaches is Simon Sykes, and he's already into the chat here, Vilho. He says, Vilho, championship season incoming. So going for a title. And here's the other one from Simon. If Vilho doesn't add another championship trophy to that rack behind him, it's Armando's fault. So do you feel the pressure from your team to get a championship?
No.
No. But you'd like to add some trophies, though.
Yeah. Well, there's the previous ones from D4, so it would be a nice one to add a couple more next year.
I guess, yeah. D-Force has won the championship in USF Juniors twice with Matt Clark and Nicholas Giaffoni, and they've also won USF 2000 with Kiko Porto. Brad, you're with Pabst. They win a lot of races. There's a culture of winning there. Any pressure there, or do you just feel like you want to add to that legacy?
Yeah, no, exactly. I think, yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I know, as I said, everybody's there to win, including myself. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, we can add to the trophy cabinet. And yeah.
Where's the growth, Brad, for you going to be in 2026? Of all that you did the last couple of years in the League AF4 series, last year in what was kind of a partial USF 2000 series, what's Brad, like the team's going to do what they're going to do. What do you do? Where's your growth area where you're going to be able to focus on to make yourself better for this year? It's a tough question, I know.
Yeah, no, probably just executing more than anything. I think I had pretty strong race pace a lot of the time last year. Drove through the field a lot.
As I said, you mentioned qualifying.
Yeah. So I think I've got a good general pace. I think a lot of what's going to help me is starting 5th and not starting 12th.
Yeah.
You know, because I do think my race pace generally has been quite strong.
Agreed.
So I just think if I'm in a better position to use that, then should both for some better results.
I feel you'll be in the long line of drivers who come into their second year of USF 2000 and really are able to step things up. That would not surprise me at all. Vilho, I'll ask you the same question. Where are you going to grow the most, you think, this year compared to last year? What aspect of racing are you going to be able to get, you think, better at this year?
Maybe like knowing to communicate better with the engineers to say what I want from the car, and like now we can test more, so we can like prep the setups and be ready. And during race weekends, I like need to be like no mistakes, like try to be on the top like every session and get good qualifyings to start from the top. I think last year I was close, but
you were.
Yeah.
I think there's 3 good check marks there. I think the first one was, like you said, you didn't have a lot of testing time last year coming in. All this extra test time you're going to be so much more prepared than you were last year. And again, you were learning the English language. You were learning your team. So the dialogue you're going to have with your team is going to be better. Consistency and not making mistakes on the racetrack is obviously what we hope for all you drivers. And then it's like even what Brad said, qualifying better, being on top of things. That's definitely what it takes going forward. All right, let's wrap things up here, boys. I appreciate the time. Let's start with you, Brad. You're in Australia right now. When are you coming back? When are you back in the race car? Listen, you're on track in spring training in 5 weeks. A couple weeks down the line after that to St. Petersburg. When are you back in the car?
Head back over on Saturday, actually. And then we're driving. I think there's a Sebring test. I think there's a Yak test on the 4th. I think that most teams are going to.
Yep. Good stuff there. Vilho, what about you? I know you flew in just recently into Indianapolis. They're taking care of you there at the D4 shop. When are you back in the car? It's this weekend, right?
Yeah. So we drive Thursday to Carolina for the test, and Sunday and Saturday we test 2 days at Carolina Motorsport Park. And then we have the Homestead test a little bit after that, and the Academy Winter Series a little bit after that at Sebring and Homestead. Then I have a week off, and then it's time to start the official season.
Yeah, we go racing. And look at the amount of track time you'll have, more different than you had last year. You'll be well prepared heading into Homestead. And like I said at the start of the show, spring training, which we've had at many different racetracks over the year, Barber, Sebring, a lot of time at NOLA, this year Homestead, Miami Speedway, and kind of way the schedule worked out. Juniors will get some test time there, but they're actually going to run 3 races as well. They'll start their season there. USF 2000 in St. Petersburg, USF Pro 2000, middle of March at Arlington. Brad, let's start with you. Cap things off. I want to give you an opportunity to talk about your sponsors first, and then circle back and talk about how people can follow you on social media.
Yeah, so we got new one coming on board this year. We got Shaw and Partners, so that's they're a financial company here in Australia. So they sponsor the Triple Eight Supercars team, the Red Bull Supercars team here. They own half of it, I think. So that's really cool for this year. We got NatPat. They're like like mosquitoes. I don't know how many. There's not many in America, but it's a big thing here, especially this time of year. So they're basically like little mosquito patches.
Yeah, understood.
They're natural, and they're extending their like there's sleep patches and all sorts now. But, I mean, I've seen them in Target a lot in Indy, so they are starting to expand as well. Those are the main two. A14, obviously, my management, Bell helmets, and then we got we got the big four for me.
If you do your job well this year, you'll add the USF Pro Championship scholarship to that list for next year, right?
Let's hope so. And got the Insta on Majman Racing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Primarily Instagram for you?
Yeah, I need to get better at it. I only do Instagram. I don't do a lot of it.
Understood. You guys are busy in the gym and on the sim. I understand you're not wanting to be on social media the whole time. Vilho, how about you? Do you have any sponsors you want to mention here right now?
Yeah. Big thanks to Mad Croc Energy Drinks. They've been sponsoring me for a while now and making the season happen. It's a lot thanks to them. And they start selling their drinks here in the US now this year. So
awesome.
It's really nice. Then Antiskid Life and Motonet Korjaamo ATS Autohuolto. And then many private personnel, thanks to them.
What social media? What are you Instagram? Are you the same as Brad? You do just Instagram, or do you do more stuff?
Well, I have the Instagram, Vilho Aatola Racing, and then Facebook is Vilho Aatola Racing too. And yeah, thanks also for Simon Sykes for letting me use his setup.
Yeah, you're on his setup right now, are you? I love
Yeah.
it. Well, that's good. I'm glad he was able to help you out. Folks, a couple of drivers here who are going to be definitely title contenders this year. International, as I said, Brad Majman, as we know, from Australia. We've had a lot of Australians come over to be part of this program over the years. Vilho Aatola from Finland. The last time we had a driver from Finland was Petri Savanto, won a championship in USF 2000, I believe back in 2012 or 2013. It's great to have another Finnish driver in the series. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I know you're ready to get back in the car. Brad, you're coming back here to run with Pabst. Vilho's heading to the track on the weekend. You guys are going to have a ton of fun. But again, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time. We'll see you guys at the racetrack soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I'll drop you in the back of the studio. Don't go anywhere. Stay right there. There you have it, folks. Two very talented young race car drivers in different times in their careers. Brad's been over here in the U.S. for a couple of years. Rough one last year. You could feel and his kind of tension on that he really wants a nice, full, clean season to be able to get at it. And I'm sure he'll get that with Pabst Racing. They know how to win races. We know that. They've won many championships in both USF 2000 and USF Pro 2000. And I would have to say that Vilho Aatola was really one of the, not so much surprises, but just a great story last year coming over from Finland, kind of learning the language, meeting everybody new throughout the year, really kind of threw him in the deep end of the pool. But if you look at the results, you can see how much he stepped things up. And I have no doubt coming out of the gate, he will be one of the drivers to challenge in the USF Juniors program. It is going to be a fantastic year. So many drivers still to get announced. Be ready. They're going to come fast and furious. One of the drivers I've confirmed for the next week, I believe, is Ryan Janetta. He's going to join me, finally announced for VRD Racing. I don't have that second driver locked in yet, but I will very likely here within the next couple of days. I'm back again next Tuesday. The following Tuesday on the 27th, another one of our team owner shows. Alan and Alex Berg from Berg Racing, brand new team in USF Juniors, will be joining me to talk about Alan's career, Alex's career, and why they made the move into USF Juniors. That caps off this Tuesday's show, episode 94 of USF Pro Insider. Big thank you to Brad Majman and Vilho Aatola for joining us, and thanks to you for tuning as well. Folks, my name is Rob Howden. Bye for now.